Good morning.
Morning.
Woo. Yeah, I love that Dan Campbell audio. My God. I think I'm going to have to start liking him. He's such a madman.
Yeah, his press conferences will be win or lose, ones to watch.
Tracy Bogert, good morning. Tracy Bogert, the chairman of the Bexar County MAGA Republicans and QAnon True Believers. Good to see you. And we got Twitch back in the house. XX Susie D Quad XX3. Susie D Squad. Susie D Squad. I don't know. But thank you for hanging out from Twitch. Or thank you for hanging out from Twitch. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Suicide Squad, thank you. Suicide Squad. It takes me a while. I'm a little slow, especially at this hour. Let's see here. Yeah, Tracy Bogert has no idea who we're talking to because he can't see the Twitch comments. But we see all. Childish is fine. Childish is good. Adulthood is overrated. Luisa Alanis, good morning. Hector Gomez, good morning. Duel show. Almost forgot my Spurs glasses. Oh, my goodness. And so it begins tonight in the NBA. LeBron hates it. Andy Everett hates it. Lots of people hate it. I kind of like it. More postseason basketball is good postseason basketball. Plus, it's on TNT tonight, baby. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley. I mean, come on. It's the NBA play-in tournament. First game tonight around 5:40. By the time it tips off, the 10-seeded Charlotte Hornets at the 9-seeded Indiana Pacers. And then your later game tipping off at around 8:10, but they'll probably back it up because the first game will go late. The 8-seeded Washington Wizards, led by triple-double king Russell Westbrook, versus the 7-seed Boston Celtics. That game will determine the 7th seed. Loser of that one will take on the winner of Charlotte versus Indiana. And oh, by the way, as we introduce Shannon Salty Sweeney, we must mention at some point today, out west, 8:40 tonight, first pitch, the Houston Astros, winners of 6 in a row, suck it haters, with a chance to move into first place in the AL West. They are at Oakland against the San Antonio A's. I'm a little premature on that. The ASA, the Austin San Antonio A's, my bad. So Shannon Salty Sweeney, wearing your Austin FC Yeti green this morning. What's happening? Woo. It was fate. Yeah. Yeah, my app says like 80% today, 90% tomorrow, just like 80% all week pretty much. And then yesterday it said like 70% all day. And then I look outside at one point and the sun comes out.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe I'll go to the pool. And then I step back outside 11 minutes later and it's raining.
It's been nuts. I wish it would either rain or not go away.
They say we need it, but I think we got plenty of rain. I don't know. I don't know if we need it. I just don't know.
I thought we're in May now. That's supposed to be when the flowers come.
April showers bring May flowers, so they say.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So play-in games tonight. Spurs don't play until tomorrow night. And, of course, tomorrow night, a lot of attention on that Lakers-Golden State Warriors matchup, which will be the fourth of the initial 4 play-in games tomorrow night. And we asked you yesterday, Shannon, you are none too excited about these NBA play-in games.
Yeah, they don't really. I mean, other than possibly getting to see LeBron throw a fit, as he's already doing so on Twitter by talking about how great he is.
Yeah.
As if, like, I guess people have been coming after him, but they haven't been coming after him about his basketball skills. So for him to take to Twitter last night and talk about, he's a pass first guy, but look how many points I have, and look how many 25 point average seasons I've had since I was 19 in this league. Put some respect on my name.
That's a little.
Let's calm down.
Yeah, I think of some of my favorite players ever, and obviously I come from the Tom Landry era with people like Roger Staubach, and I mean even move it into the Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman era, if you like. Maybe if Michael Irvin had Twitter, maybe Michael Irvin would have done a little bit of that back in the day. Maybe not. I mean, Deion Sanders, of course, but and LeBron James is great. Do you need to tell us how great you are?
Well, and I find the timing interesting because last year was different, right, with the bubble and everything going on. But typically, and I guess he doesn't consider this play-in game part of the playoffs because typically he tweets out and shares on all of his socials, it's 0 dark 30 mode. I'm going silent. I'm going off the grid. My focus is on. I'm 100% tuned in to what I need to be doing. I'm handling my business. And I've yet clearly he hasn't either done that yet. So I don't know if that's him disrespecting the playoff game or play-in game even more than he already has by saying the guy who came up with it should be fired, or if he's just no longer sticking to that mindset because he's LeBron James. And he's allowed to change his mind. I'm just saying it's a typical pattern of his since he's been in the league with social media being so relevant. And he's yet to do that this time around. So he's talking about how good he is.
He could argue, by definition, these are not the playoffs. These are, that may be what he's thinking. These are play-ins to the playoffs. But go ahead.
Well, it's okay because now we're talking about LeBron and all of his accolades. You say that, my immediate thought is, in the span of his career, right, we're used to seeing LeBron in the playoffs, right? It's a thing when he doesn't even make it to the finals. So when his career's all said and done, are you counting this towards he made it into the playoffs or he didn't?
Ooh, it's a good question. I mean, obviously, if he gets the 7 or 8 seed, he's in the playoffs. And again, you can say the same thing about Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs, who until just last season had this insane run of, I think, 22 or 23 straight seasons of going to the postseason. I mean, you can hedge your bets by calling it the postseason, or you can call it the playoffs. So, I mean, to me, it's postseason equals playoffs.
Right.
It's like Major League Baseball when you have the one and you're in, wild card game. That's a playoff game. That's a wild card game in baseball to me. So to me, it's the playoffs.
I would say so, but it doesn't feel like LeBron is treating it that way. But I'm sure when he's, up there giving his Hall of Fame speech and mentioning how many times he's been in the playoffs, he'll change his mind once more.
Yeah, and again, I go back and forth on LeBron, and I generally like him. I know he's a diva, and I guess he got a little diva-esque last night. But, part of what he was talking about, his numbers, you compare how many years he has averaged 25 points per game. And let me just pull it up. 17th straight season. of 25 points per game or more. He's 36 years old. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Durant each had 12 seasons of 25 points or more. I mean, granted, Michael Jordan is and will forever be, I believe, considered the greatest player in NBA history. Kobe is probably up there on a lot of people's Mount Rushmores, but to have done it 17 straight seasons without interruption, and that means some durability as well for the most part. And guys like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Durant are at 12. So he's got 5 more than any of those guys. That's pretty amazing. I must give him some credit for that.
It is. And because he does consider himself a pass-first guy. The fact that he's still getting up all those shots, that's great for him. I'm just a little tired of LeBron this season. Typically, I like watching him play and be that guy that he is. That is just like the greatest player of the generation that we're currently in. But I'm ready for him to go release Space Jam 2 and watch that flop.
Watch that flop?
There's no way that's going to be good.
How do you know it's going to flop?
It's an animated movie with LeBron James and a rabbit.
I saw some Angelina Jolie movie on HBO Max. Something like the title, and this isn't it exactly, like Those Who Want to Kill Me. It was just released in theaters and it dropped on HBO Max. But one of the production companies right across the screen said Braun, which I do believe is LeBron James' production. So LeBron had, and it was a pretty good movie. I kind of watched it because I was looking for something to stream over the weekend. And it was actually pretty good.
Is it a horror?
It's action adventure.
Okay,
it's,
I can handle that.
She's great. I'm not a big Angelina Jolie fan, but she's the heroine. She's the hero in this movie, and she works for the Forest Service, and she's a real badass. She parachutes out of airplanes and fights fires for the Forest Service. And all of a sudden, without giving away too much, there's a series of murders going on. So she winds up trying to save the life of a young boy who is on the run. I recommend it. It's cool. So figure out it's some. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Sam Tobias. It is called Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Okay.
With Angelina Jolie. I give it a thumbs up. Right. It was good. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that good, but it was good.
I've seen her name in the news, so that makes sense. I'll watch it.
Didn't she and Brad Pitt adopt like 27 kids? I think she's got like 27.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah, and I got 0, and I am happy. Angelina, you can have all the kids I would have had. I'm just saying. All right, we got some amazing contests. We're going to do one right now, but don't forget, and this one was really popular yesterday, at 8:20, we got tickets to give away to see Korn and Stained coming to Circuit of the Americas. Shannon will tell you all about that a little bit later. But right now and at 7:20, it is the Grand in Your Hand cash contest. We give you a keyword. You go to either website, AM 1300 The Zone, or Ticket 760. Pop in that keyword. You are in the running. Somebody wins. It may as well be you. $1,000. Here it is.
Right now, here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Spring. That's spring. Enter it now.
Spring. And it is technically still spring. I think the solstice is usually June 20th or 21st. So, and Shannon, I look at the calendar. It's May 18th. And the first day of summer is typically, depending on where you are on the globe, June 20th or 21st. And I'm such a freak. I love summertime. I love daylight. I love daylight savings. Once we hit the 21st of June, the days will begin to get shorter all over again. And I start getting bummed out. It's like, man, I'm losing a minute of daylight on June 23rd. It ain't right.
I thought it went longer than that.
Believe it or not.
I thought it was like an August thing. And that's when it
by definition, the days, the longest day of the year is typically June 21st, and the longest night of the year, the winter solstice, is typically December 21st. So yeah, while it seems, August is hot, it's bright later, but if you look at the numbers, and I think I've been looking at sunset lately, sunset's been like around 8:25, 26 lately, but once you hit the 21st of June, that number starts sliding back. 8:17, 8:10, and I get bummed out. It's like, oh my God, Even though we're in the middle of summer, summer's going away. So all I'm saying is enjoy it. May 18th, you've got 34 more days for the days to keep getting longer. Then it's all downhill. Then we slide back into winter. God help us.
You're a pool guy, right?
I love
Like I see you
Yes.
posting videos at the pool a lot. So is that like that's your thing? Like you're there until the sun sets?
I'm there till the sun sets.
Okay.
We go kicking and screaming into like October, November if we can.
You have a heated pool?
I do not.
No, wow.
No, but I love heated pools. There's this. I've talked to you about this resort in Cancun. Even though it's Cancun and you don't need a heated pool, there's something about a heated pool that's just nice. I don't
know that I've ever been in one that's heated. Is it like swimming in a bathtub? I mean, it's not hot, right?
It's just warm.
Okay.
Well, and it's like your body. It's almost like it feels like, and I'm sure it's not that hot because our body temperatures are 98.6, but it almost feels like it's the same as your body temperature, so you kind of feel like you've really merged with the water. And I'm that way. I like warm water anyway. So when I go to the Texas Gulf Coast in August and the water is really, really warm, I'm happy. I can't cold water, and I whine.
Yeah, I don't get in anything cold.
So all right, we got a lot to talk about. We'll talk NBA. We will talk Astros. Astros are on a roll. If they beat the Oakland A's tonight in Oakland, they would move into first place. They start the night a half a game behind the Oakland A's. A's are in first place in the AL West. Astros have won 6 in a row. The Astros, we'll get into this as well. They've only gotten on this roll lately, but their run differential of plus 56 is the second best run differential in Major League Baseball. So they're starting to score a lot of runs, which is what they've been doing for the past several years. There's a new Aaron Rodgers rumor out there. Another team all of a sudden seemingly has its eyes on Aaron Rodgers. We will get into that. Our good friend Tanner Carlson, who Shannon, you might have to have a talk with him. He's a Mavericks fan like you, but he did Spurs radio with Bill Schoening the other night. He may be a turncoat.
Listen, we're team players. Okay? We're team players.
All right,
that's what I'll say.
He went to the other side. I'm hoping, and I don't think he did when he was on the Spurs broadcast. I hope he didn't say Spurs suck, Mavericks rule.
Maybe he slipped in an MFFL in there.
Yeah, he might. And quick, I didn't say hello to Dave Ayler. What is wrong with me? Dave Ayler, good morning. I'm so rude. It's not me. It's the coffee hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah, that's the blame the coffee. It's the bad coffee we have here.
Well, see, I bring in my own coffee because we have bad coffee here. I'm a coffee snob, so I bring in my own coffee.
And I don't drink coffee at all. I think I'm
what?
the only morning person in morning radio that doesn't drink coffee.
What do you drink? Ew.
How do you get going in the morning? Do you snort cocaine? What do you do?
My natural ability.
Oh my God. I am bumping into walls in the morning until I start guzzling some coffee.
Doing all that kind of stuff, and it almost killed me. So
yeah, that will kill you.
Yeah, that'll you'll lose. That dehydrates you immediately.
Yeah.
Do the dude.
All right. So we'll talk everything in the world of sports coming up. NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, and more. That is Super Dave Ayler, who doesn't need no stinking coffee. He could use a Mountain Dew or two. She is Shannon Salty Sweetie. I am Chris. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, if you want to jump in on the phone lines with us, 800-707-9760. Streaming live video on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on Twitch. The high five play of the day is next on the Chris Duel Show. Steve Duraco, the original rock. THE rock. THE stands for the human element. Man's threat, woman's pet, the ultimate object of desire. Steve Duraco, co-founder of the San Antonio Polar Bear Club and a great American. The original Italian stallion. Before the Rocky movie came out in 1976, they were calling Steve Duraco the Italian stallion. I'm not making that up. But yeah, Tracy and Sam and anybody else, I was surprised at how good that Angelina Jolie movie is. And again, Those Who Wish Me Dead. It's on HBO Max. And she was great. She was a great leading character in it. Yeah, John Williams, I drink unsweetened iced tea, and I got some right. I am double-fisted, baby. If I want to go cold, I got the iced tea. If I want to go hot, I got the coffee, because I am a total freak. If it's got caffeine in it, I want it in me. I sound like one of those girls on the TikTok videos now. All right. Luisa Alanis, John Williams from Dallas, Hector Gomez.
Favorite very regular food that has absolutely no business going so hard. I go first.
Why am I not there? Let's see. Hector says my favorite actress is Salma Hayek. She's cool, Hector. I haven't seen her in anything in a long time, though. Is she still making movies? Sam Tobias is a witness. He saw that movie. I got a witness on that movie. Let's see. I'm going to do that for a sec. Hector says a Salma Hayek movie, The Hitman's Wife, is coming out. Sounds good. Anthony, I don't know what's going on with that background music. I think Shannon is cooking something up for a future segment here. I do believe. Okay, today is National Cheese Souffle Day. Absolutely ridiculous. Today is National Visit Your Relatives Day. Don't get cocky, America. India is teeming with COVID. They want to cancel the Olympics in Tokyo. We're like, hey, don't wear masks. It's all cool, man. COVID's over, you know. Clay Travis. COVID is over because Clay Travis has declared it's over. Red Lobster is seeking a chief biscuit officer. Those biscuits at Red Lobster are pretty good. I'm just saying. Alan Green, welcome in. Yeah, Anthony, I saw that. Walmart lifting mask restrictions. I just think it's a global issue. And as long as it is rampant in other countries, it is going to come back here. And there are variants. I am just saying. Oh, let's see. Sam Tobias says, I now know what I'm going to put for Ass Whip Tuesday on the Mike Taylor Show. All these no meaningful holidays like National Cheese Souffle Day. I don't blame you. Somebody had a lock of Kurt Cobain's hair, and a lock of Kurt Cobain's hair sold for more than $14,000. It's a little weird, people. Yeah, Tracy, I'm the same way, man. There's still a lot we don't know. And based on some of the science I hear, even if you're fully vaccinated, you can still carry the virus to someone else. Out of respect for other citizens and human beings, I generally, not just generally, I just do. I wear a freaking mask whenever I go around other people who are not, family members. Clint Proctor with his hair, we can clone him. True. We can clone Kurt Cobain. Bring him back. Yeah, Tracy, I agree with you. Good morning, Greg Helt. Welcome in, Greg. Welcome in anybody else who we haven't said your name. If we see your name, we tend to say your name because that's just polite. So Greg, Tracy, Alan, Clint, Sam, Anthony, Hector, John, Louisa, Steve, and our friend from Twitch, Suicide Squad. Tracy Bogart says, I hear Mac Jones might give Cam a run for his money. Yeah. If it's not working out, just like I heard Andy Dalton, I heard that this morning, is officially the starting quarterback in Chicago until further notice. Welcome back. It's the Chris Duel Show, along with Shannon Salty Sweeney on Tuesday, Taco Tuesday to you, May 18th, 2021. Do your civic duty. Get yourself some tacos wherever you can, wherever you must, because it's Taco Tuesday. And, what would the world be without tacos, especially South and Central Texas? A little bit later in the show, a couple more contests. One at 7:20, the Grand in Your Hand cash contest. Also in the 7 o'clock hour, Shannon's Salty Shakedown. This day in sports history, sports birthdays. Tanner Carlson at 8 o'clock, just after 8 o'clock. We'll talk some NBA playoffs, probably some NFL football with him. 8:20, yet another contest and another opportunity. You had a chance yesterday to win tickets to see the band's Corn and Stained. So that's coming up at 8:20. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But right now, how about it? The high five play of the day. High five is not just the name of the segment. It's not just the name of the play of the day, but Shannon, it is a cool, adult, and by day kid-friendly entertainment and grub venue.
Yes, and I, along with High Five and The Zone, will be hosting an Austin FC watch party this weekend, Sunday, beginning at 7 for the Austin FC versus Nashville game. Of course, High Five, an official Austin Pub Club, and they will be hosting their Sipping Sunday specials, including $5 12-inch pizzas, $15 craft pitchers, $12 domestic pitchers, and make sure you come early and play unlimited arcade games for $10. And throughout the night, throw an axe and hit the bullseye, and you get registered to win a $50 gift card, good for either of their 2 Austin area locations. That'll be given away at halftime and at the end of the game. This watch party over at Anderson Lane. If you can't make it out to that location, go ahead, check out the game at the Lakeway location. Again, that is this Sunday for Austin FC versus Nashville. And today's High Five is kind of a recap of a story we talked about yesterday when Ontarius Bryant was unfortunately a victim of a hoax in which someone was pretending to be the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator and texting with him and telling him to come to a rookie tryout in order to get his chance to live out his NFL dream. He gets all the way to Atlanta and is turned away. Well, now he, along with several other players, have been invited to the Hub workout. This reported by Adam Schefter yesterday, of course, just after we got off the show and finished talking about him. But he will get to show off his great talents in front of NFL scouts, including the Atlanta Falcons, who have confirmed that they will be at this event.
Nice.
It will be this weekend, actually. So very quick turnaround for him, but I'm glad he is getting his opportunity. I think it's rightfully so. There's a reason, I think, why he was targeted anyway, right? Because he has an agent. He's got skill. He's got some sort of talent that could be useful to the NFL, whether it's on a 53-man roster or a practice squad. He's got enough talent to where someone pegged him as a great target to hit up to say, obviously you have enough skill to do this. Why not come out and try out? So from hoax to real life opportunity here, I'm happy for him. A high five to Hub for having him, as well as all the other players out that will be there this weekend to get a chance to live out their dream.
And a couple of things. Again, he went to Austin P University, which is in Clarksville, Tennessee. So he had to make his way from Clarksville, Tennessee to Atlanta, and someone catfished him and, embarrassed him. And he shows up at the Atlanta Falcons rookie camp or tryout and is embarrassed to learn that it was all a hoax, as Shannon mentions. I wanted to read it yesterday. He released a statement on Twitter, and to me, that was imagine the most embarrassing moment of your life that caused absolute anguish. And imagine it being something professional, because this is what he does. This is what he's done probably since he played Pop Warner football and played football in middle school, high school, and then college at Austin P. And he's absolutely embarrassed. He's absolutely humiliated. How would you handle it? Would you flip out? Would you rage out on social media or to anybody who would listen to you? I'm going to read the statement that Ontarius Bryant wrote on Twitter, and I just think it's so gracious, and this is part of why I want the guy to succeed. I'll just read it real quick. Couple of paragraphs. Here it is. It says, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been in my corner while I have been pursuing my lifelong dream of playing in the NFL. Apparently, the opportunity of attending rookie minicamp with the Atlanta Falcons was not a legit opportunity. Someone contacted me from a 404 area code number pretending to be Dan Pease, the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. I did not realize it was not a legit opportunity until I traveled to the facility for rookie minicamp check-in on Wednesday, May 12th. It's most definitely one of the most embarrassing things that has ever happened to me and a very humbling experience. Just want to apologize to everyone and the Atlanta Falcons organization for the mix-up. I honestly thought it was a legit opportunity on my end. I do not know or understand why this happened, but I do know that everything happens for a reason. Yes, this was heartbreaking for me, but just another stepping stone that I am not afraid to admit or overcome. At the end of the day, this will not make or break me. I will continue to fight for my dreams because I know it's what I really want. I'm still striving and still in the best shape of my life. When opportunity presents itself, I will be ready. Wontarius Bryant. Shannon, that blows me. That's a 22-ish year old dude who was just crushed and embarrassed and humiliated in public. And there is his public statement. I'm an automatic fan. I so want to see this guy make some kind of a roster somewhere, hopefully in the National Football League, but if not, somewhere in professional football.
Yeah, the statement was incredible. I would still probably be upset and in tears and hiding in my room somewhere after something like this. So good for him. Good for him for even putting it out there, because this isn't something he had to talk about. And we kind of mentioned it yesterday of how did this even happen? And it's almost interesting that it doesn't happen more often, particularly when you think of the draft. I mean, you watch these guys at home with their families, and then their phone rings and they don't have those numbers saved, right? They're just like, oh, it's a Cleveland area code. This must be the Browns. So luckily we don't hear more stories like this, and hopefully no one is out there seeing the story and thinking, oh, I could do that to somebody, because it's utterly ridiculous. So happy for him that he's getting the opportunity to display his talents in front of NFL scouts for that opportunity that he thought he was getting last week.
Well, and sadly, though, and you bring this up, there tend to be copycats. Yeah. Sadly, this is probably giving some people new ideas on how to punk or catfish or prank someone. But again, and it's interesting because you brought up LeBron James earlier in the show, Shannon, on Twitter, and he was kind of tooting his own horn and kind of, saying, dig me. And I kind of like LeBron. I don't like the diva nature of LeBron, but you look at, here's LeBron, an international mega superstar, one of the greatest basketball players ever. Certainly on one hand, you would probably put LeBron up there with Michael Jordan and others. And he is not nearly as gracious as this, I'm guessing, 22-year-old, Wontarius Bryant, who just got crushed and humiliated and is just so gracious on Twitter. And we talk about it all the time. Twitter is known for such cynicism and negativity and just crass reactions by people. It was just, to me, such a breath of fresh air in this guy's moment of despair and sadness and humiliation to be so gracious and humble, and he was the one apologizing. Right. I apologize to the Atlanta Falcons for inconveniencing you. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, and the Falcons, again, they have said they are going to be at this trial. It also reminds me of like a Des Bryant or even an Antonio Brown, where they immediately take to Twitter all the time, but it's to get their reaction to someone reacting to them and them trying to defend themselves or in times when maybe they should just put the phone down. So sounds like he has the talents to contribute to a team somewhere, but also sounds like an incredible human being and young man.
And Atlanta Falcons, as you mentioned, Shannon, they're going to go to that tryout. Mm-hmm. I would love, since it was the Falcons that he went to and traveled to, I would love to see the Falcons do the right thing. If they see talent, or if they see an inkling of talent, bring this kid into training camp. Give him a shot, for God's sake. And you mentioned Des Bryant also. And again, it's so common and typical on Twitter. And this is kind of who Des Bryant is. And I go back to a week or two ago when we found out that Tim Tebow was going to get an opportunity with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Instead of being quiet or minding his own business or working on his own attempt to get back into football, Des Bryant's out there on Twitter. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think you deserve that. Well, you know what? Everybody has different lives. And you know what? Des Bryant, Tim Tebow probably has a completely different construct of karma than you do. Tim Tebow has been a better man to children he's encountered over the years, some children who have, through the Make-A-Wish Foundation and other organizations, maybe Tim Tebow earned an opportunity to have some positive karma rain down upon him and an opportunity like this to rain down upon him, while you, Des Bryant, just squawk and bitch and moan and complain, and maybe that's why you don't get opportunities.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. When I think of Tim Tebow, he's a guy who fights for others.
Yeah.
Versus a Des Bryant it's him against the world and he's fighting for himself.
And I'll talk to Tanner about this. I saw Tanner tweet over the weekend, Tim Tebow's just, a spoiled brat doing this for more attention. How do we know that?
He doesn't need it.
How do we? And again, I'll bring this up to Tanner. It's not fair of me to say it when he can't come in here and defend what he tweeted, and he'll have that opportunity after 8:00. But I mean, and I go back to Wontarius Bryant, Shannon. If you're a football player or anything you're doing in life, if you've been doing it your whole life, I mean, I kind of understand it. And even if this is what it is, and a lot of people say this is what it is for Tim Tebow, he doesn't want to give up team sports. Mm-hmm. Well, he's been doing it since he was in the Pee Wee leagues, and he's been really, really good at it. And it is hard to give up on your dream, whatever that dream is, when you realize, man, it may be over. This thing that I'm really good at, I won the freaking Heisman Trophy. I made it into the NFL. I won a playoff game over the Pittsburgh Steelers for the Denver Broncos. Okay, NFL didn't work. I tried to play baseball. I had a couple of shining moments in the minors, but nothing that big. And now I wake up and it's 2021 and it may be over, but my buddy and my coach and my neighbor who was there for me when I won the Heisman Trophy many years ago is now the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Urban Meyer. Can I ask him for an opportunity? Why not?
Yeah. My argument for why this isn't him trying to, get more fame or be relevant again or whatever it was you said that Tanner tweeted would be, if that was his case, he would be on every network because every network wants to talk about him. We haven't heard from Tebow about this at all. It's all been hearsay. He has been taking speaking engagements these last couple of weeks to discuss trafficking and the need for us to, stop it and what we can do to, not have these issues that, not only our country has, but other countries. So he's certainly not taking this gig that he might get to be with the Jacksonville Jaguars as an opportunity to lift his celebrity. And
yeah. I mean, he's got a ton of celebrity.
Yeah. If that was the case, he would be all over every network right now.
Yeah. Somebody pointed out there was one conspiracy theory that Tebow needs one more year or so in the league to get a pension.
3 games.
Yeah, 3 games to get an NFL pension. Then he'll always have it. Yeah. Tim Tebow, he can give a speech for $150,000 at the drop of a hat. He doesn't need a $48,000 a year NFL pension by doing 3 more games. So I think that's out the window. So I pull for him. He's, some people are angry or threatened that he wears his religion on his sleeve. He's not, I don't think he's that in your face about it. I don't think he says you have to believe the way I believe. I think he expresses the way he believes. I think he is humble and he does do good things for charities and for kids. And I hope it works. I hope it works.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not buying the jersey, but I'm excited to see him given the opportunity and what he does with it.
I may buy the jersey. No, I'm not going to buy a Jacksonville Jaguars jersey. No. If he came to the Cowboys, I'd be all over it. Now with the new, you can wear any jersey number you want in the NFL now. Is he going to be number 15 at tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars if he makes the team?
If it's available.
Yeah.
I'm not super.
I haven't looked that up.
I know Trevor Lawrence is 16. That's about all I got for Jacksonville.
Yeah. And I wonder, I can't imagine. Trevor Lawrence just seems so even-keeled and balanced. I can't imagine that he's at all threatened by this or sees this as a distraction. And in a weird way, this might take some of the distraction spotlight off of Trevor Lawrence.
That's my thought about it.
All right. So there's that. Coming up we got another contest coming your way. Another grand in your hand cash contest. We'll talk more about the NBA play-in games. We got to talk a little Houston Astros. It looks like the Astros have finally turned it around. They have won 6 in a row, and they have an opportunity tonight at Oakland to take over first place. They begin the night one half game behind the Oakland A's in the AL West. If they beat the A's tonight, they would take over first place by a half a game. Astros have won 6 in a row, which is way, way cool. And we got to talk a little Bob Baffert. Churchill Downs says, hey, Mr. Baffert, you scumbag, dirtbag, cheater. Don't bring your horse Medina Spirit around here for the Belmont Stakes, which is a little bit of justice. And we got to get into some Aaron Rodgers. It's the gift that keeps on giving. There are more Aaron Rodgers rumors out there, and there's another team that seems to be interested in making a play for Aaron Rodgers. We will get into all of that. Oh, and the Salty Shakedown. You can't miss it today. Some exceptional audio coming your way. She's Shannon Salty Sweeney. I'm Chris, with you till 9 on the Chris Duel Show. Thank you, Louisa. I am with you on Tim Tebow. I like him too. I used to have Bill Bates on the show regularly, former Cowboy Bill Bates. And Bill Bates' son played high school football with Tim Tebow in Florida. And Bill Bates was like a secondary coach on that team. I'm forgetting the name. I think Meese High School. I think it was called Meese. And Bill Bates used to say, there's this kid named Tim Tebow who's our quarterback. And remember, at the time, I didn't know who Tim Tebow was. But Bill Bates many times came on and said, you got to wait till you see this kid, Tim Tebow. He's special. And indeed he was. So there is a Dallas Cowboys Bill Bates connection, although Bill Bates was a defensive coach, but he was still a coach on Tim Tebow's high school football team. Greg Helt, go watch Bob's talk with Dan Patrick on Peacock. Which Bob? I'll be right back. I haven't looked at Peacock yet. I always hear Dan Patrick say, go watch us on Peacock. I haven't downloaded it or looked at it yet. I mean to. I've been meaning to. Oh, the horse trainer. Thank you, Greg. Sorry about that. That was the only Bob I referenced, so I should have had that. Thank you. Oh. That is a funny Brady. National Visit Your Relatives Day. Very nice. Let's see what else is happening here. Jason Paniagua, I meant to mention that you pointed out Tim Tebow has a keto food line. I didn't know that. Greg says about the Bob Baffert interview, it's a good talk. I just don't get how he didn't know it was the cream when he says the ingredients were on that tube. Yeah, Greg, he's a serial offender. I think I don't believe him.
Now, Chris Duel.
Can the Spurs break on through to the other side of the NBA playoffs? We got a couple of, actually 4 teams tonight trying to do that in the Eastern Conference. Spurs don't play until tomorrow night. when the Western Conference play-in games begin. Tonight, it's the Eastern Conference early game at about 5:40, and these games will be on TNT. Bonus, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, must-see TV. I will put the remote control down. I will be in for the long haul. Early game, the 10-seed Charlotte Hornets at the 9-seed Indiana Pacers. That'll tip off at about 5:40. And then your second game tonight, the 8-seed Washington Wizards, led by Russell Westbrook, at the Boston Celtics, the 7-seed. That tips off supposedly around 8:10, but it's the second half of that TNT doubleheader, so that game can get pushed back up to 7 minutes typically. So you got that. We talked about it, and we'll get more into it. The Houston Astros have an opportunity to take over first place in the AL West tonight. They are at Oakland. They start the night one game. Excuse me, I keep saying one game. It's a half a game behind the Oakland A's. Astros have won 6 in a row. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I did see, I will get there ultimately to what you put out there. You sent us a link, Shannon, on Facebook Live via Instagram. It'll be the third item that I cover here just off the top. And our thanks to Super Dave Ayler, who does a great job of show prep each and every day, not just for this show. Dave Ayler works down the hall over at 1200 WOAI in San Antonio and preps Charlie Parker and Tim Merriman as well. So he does a ton of work every single morning. But Shannon, according to Dave Ayler and his research, today is National Cheese Souffle Day. Are you excited?
That is warm cheese, which is up my alley. I don't know that I've ever had one, though. So I'm not going to judge a food item that I've never tasted myself.
Yeah, all right.
Is that something that comes in a bread bowl?
I think so. I think it's like a custard. It means blow up or puff up. It's the delicious alchemy that happens when custard and whipped egg whites take a leisurely nap in a hot closed oven, according to the research. But it's got cheese. I mean, you had me at cheese. I tend to like anything that is involving cheese, like bacon. It's hard to screw up cheese.
Yep.
If cheese is involved. So anyway, National Cheese Souffle Day. I got 2 more. It is also No Dirty Dishes Day. Come on. Where do they come up with this crap? It's No Dirty Dishes Day. Now, granted, you shouldn't have dirty dishes, but do we have to have a day for it?
Yeah, that's a little much.
It says today you can either eat all your meals out, and it is Taco Tuesday, or you can just use disposable paper plates, cups, and silverware.
Oh, that's what it means.
Ooh, I guess.
I was expecting, like, no, you have to do the dishes that you've been leaving in the sink or something.
See, that's what I thought, too. It's like, do your dishes.
But
Clean up your sink.
you to eat out.
Run your dishwasher. Yeah, so No Dirty Dishes Day. Finally, and I don't know, man. I know America is saying we're out of COVID, but a lot of the rest of the world is still dealing with it. Today is National Visit Your Relatives Day. Visit Your Relatives Day. You going to visit your relatives today, Shannon?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I visited them pretty recently.
I have a cousin who lives in Indiana. He got on a train, came to San Antonio to visit my mom, who is his aunt.
Okay.
And he did it this past weekend. He got like on an Amtrak train from the Chicago area, like East Chicago, Indiana, which is where Pop is from originally. But it's like, dude, first of all, are you fully vaccinated? Secondly, why are you getting on a train to come all the way to San Antonio? And he came over for like 2 hours. He took a train to San Antonio, however long that takes, got a hotel room, came over on Sunday, and just hung out with my mom. Said, all right, haven't seen you in like 30 years. Good to see you. I'm leaving, going back.
I love that he took a train. I didn't even know you could take a train from.
He took a train to like downtown San Antonio, stayed in a hotel, and then he Ubered over to my mom's place.
And he was over here for like 2 hours and then turned around when
home. Yeah. Then he got on a train, went back to.
That's spontaneous.
Yeah, that is. I mean, he's retired. I guess you can do that. But yeah. So anyway, there's that. So it's National Visit Your Relatives Day, Shannon. So Dave, you going to visit any relatives? Oh, your relatives are in St. Louis, isn't that right?
St. Louis, Florida, wherever they decide to be that day, basically. Because most of them are retired too, so they can just pick up and move.
Yeah. They've got easy lives while the rest of us are slaving away.
It must be nice.
In fact, one other story, and it's not a National Day story. You have this story here. They're worried about if you work more than a 55-hour work week, it is detrimental to your health. Apparently, there's a significant number of people who died in the last year, not from COVID, but from overworking themselves. Some as a result of COVID, because a lot of us work from home now. So people are actually working more hours. But they say the magic number, if you work more than 55 hours a week, you are putting your life at risk. People are dying.
You should have been dead about 3 months ago.
Good point.
All the Spurs work.
Exactly. Maybe one more night. Maybe well, I hope it's more than one more night. But maybe I'll drop dead tomorrow night. So
it is weird, like as sports people, that we like. There's my work hours where I am working and such, and then there's just me watching a game or something. But I can't turn off my broadcast mind.
No.
Like I have to take notes on my phone.
Yeah.
I have to post something on the station socials.
Yeah. And you do. And you do a great job. My first boss in radio, he's no longer living. A lot of people know him in San Antonio. He wound up going to Fox Sports Radio nationally and running it after San Antonio. His name was Andrew Ashwood. They called him the Gorilla. Did you know the Gorilla, Dave Ayler? Or was he after your time?
He was after me, or actually before me.
Okay.
But I met him when he was passing through town a few times.
Yeah, good guy.
A little bit. Yeah, he's a good guy.
But his mantra, well, he had many mantras, but one of them was show prep is 24/7. It's like if you're doing sports talk, you're watching sports 24/7 so that you can talk about it. And he also ran news talk stations. So if you're a news talk person, then your show prep is 24/7. It's your job to be locked in. And Shannon, you clearly are. So it's way cool.
When I go on vacation, I take my email off my phone and I don't allow myself to open Twitter.
Yeah, but I get notifications. Like, do you do that?
No, I don't have any notifications.
I get like there are certain sites that are sports sites that I get, bam, the Astros just did this, or bam, this story just broke on Aaron. So my phone is like and there's a lot of Cowboy reporters that I follow. So when there's a Cowboy story, or like during the draft especially, it's like every 6 seconds my phone would vibrate with a new tweet from a Cowboys reporter. So, but I can get that. So thank you. Now, speaking of National Go Visit Your Relatives Day, you found where did you get you have a little Tom Brady photo that you posted.
Yeah. There's a great NFL memes is a great follow on any social platform. They tend to make me laugh, but I went and pulled one of their images following this year's Super Bowl for National Go Visit Your Relatives Day, and it's just Tom Brady with his son Patrick Mahomes.
It's like a little mini Patrick Mahomes. He's giving him a piggyback ride.
Tom travels for work a lot. It's important to make that special time with your loved ones.
He does. Speaking of, I've been kind of alluding to this, but I haven't jumped into it yet, but I'll just throw it out there. Get your thoughts, Shannon. One of the latest rumors involving Aaron Rodgers is the Las Vegas Raiders are thinking of taking a shot at Aaron Rodgers now. And one of the reasons is it is rumored that the leading candidate to land Aaron Rodgers, if indeed he refuses to go back and play for the Green Bay Packers, is the Denver Broncos. And if you think about it, if you're the Raiders sitting there with Derek Carr, are you just going to let Aaron Rodgers go to your divisional rival, the Denver Broncos? Or are you going to say, hey, screw this, we'll grab him. We'll bring him to, I mean, if you think about it, he's a West Coast guy. It would seem to me that Vegas is closer to the Bay Area and Central California than Denver somewhat. Although if you make Aaron Rodgers money, I guess you can hop on a private jet anytime and be anywhere you want. But If you were Aaron Rodgers, where would you rather play? In Las Vegas? New venue, cool town? I mean, Denver's cool too, but it's cold.
A couple things on this to answer your first question of if I'm Aaron Rodgers. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is the type of guy that remembers everything that's ever been said about him. And so playing for John Gruden, who Lord knows what he said about him when he was in the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
I feel like there may be some animosity there.
Ooh.
When it comes to the Raiders taking him just because he might go to one of their division rivals, that I don't feel like you should run your organization that way. Right, because then you're not trying to win. You're just trying to keep others from winning rather than creating the team you need. Also, Aaron is obviously still of the MVP caliber after he just won last year, but his years are numbered, especially when you compare him to Justin Herbert or Patrick Mahomes, who are also in that division. So I think you need to look elsewhere for someone to come in if you're not convinced Derek Carr is your future. And get someone there. Also, I don't even know that they can afford Aaron Rodgers, right? Because the Khalil Mack thing, and I don't know what Rodgers' contract looks like or what. I just don't even see that really happening. And then you mentioned Rodgers. It's still out there that he could even move elsewhere. Well, the NFL is tweeting out images yesterday of a Week 15 matchup between Rodgers, specifically tagging Rodgers and Lamar Jackson, saying the battle of the two consecutive MVPs. Do they know something we don't?
Ooh.
Or are they trying to convince something one way or the other? Because we're all gonna go back to that tweet if the second Aaron goes somewhere else, if he does go somewhere else.
You brought up Lamar Jackson. I saw a stat that just blew my mind about Lamar Jackson. I saw it this morning. It just showed up on Twitter. Lamar Jackson has 85 total touchdowns currently in his 37 starts. Now, some of those are running. He's a running quarterback. Some of them are through the air. Some of them are on the ground. 85 total touchdowns in 37 starts. That ranks number 3 all time behind only Patrick Mahomes and Dan Marino. His 67 passing touchdowns of those 85 is the 11th most in NFL history. It ties him with Aaron Rodgers, ironically, Shannon, as you bring up the two of them, and that puts him ahead of, through 37 starts, ahead of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, and most every other quarterback in NFL history. Is that crazy? I mean, we don't think of Lamar Jackson as being a transcendent once-in-a-generation quarterback, but we do think about Patrick Mahomes that way, and people did think about Dan Marino that way.
Yeah, he gets knocked a lot for being a mobile quarterback. As a Cowboys fan, that's amazing to me because that's like the average is just under 3 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
And we saw the Cowboys last year without Dak Prescott to even put a touchdown on the board during games was nearly impossible. So for him to go out and do what he's doing with that organization, there's a reason he was MVP and will likely be MVP, at least in the running for MVP for years to come.
And he's another guy. I like Lamar Jackson. He's a guy who was kind of overlooked on draft day, and still, as we just discussed, people don't give him the props that I think he deserves.
He's very about his business. I feel like you don't really hear much from him outside of the season. He just kind of plays football, and that's what he does.
True.
He's very good at it.
He is very, very good at it. And we are good at giving you money. 720. So it's our second contest of the day. Don't forget, 1 hour from now, your chance to win tickets to see Korn and Stained, a couple of great bands at Circuit of the Americas. Shannon will have information for you as we approach 8:20. But right now it's 7:20. Second time we've done it this morning. We do it 12 times throughout the day on the 20s at AM 1300 The Zone and Ticket 760. It is the Grand in Your Hand cash contest. Somebody's going to win it. It may as well be you. Here comes a keyword. You take that keyword to either website, Ticket 760's website or AM 1300 The Zone. Pop it in where you see Grand in Your Hand cash contest, and you are in the running for the money. Here it is.
Right now, here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. That's pay. Enter it now.
Pay, as in pay me. Pay me my $1,000. We'll try to. Some other news, Shannon, as we move into arguably, or however you want to define it, we talked about it earlier, the NBA playoffs. I think we can accurately say we move into the NBA postseason tonight with these Eastern Conference play-in games. Marv Albert, yes, and it counts. Marv Albert has announced he will retire. Apparently, he will be scheduled to do play-by-play all the way through the Eastern Conference Finals. But after the Eastern Conference Finals, Marv Albert will call it quits. I think he's been broadcasting something like 55 years. And when it comes to certainly NBA broadcasting, and I know he's done a lot of work with the New York Knicks and Madison Square Garden broadcasting, but certainly Marv Albert is a name. Yep, 55 years. I just pulled the story up. Certainly Marv Albert is kind of an iconic name when it comes to sports broadcasting.
Yeah, and then you have Chris Webber cutting ties last week with his broadcasting efforts. He obviously didn't have the career that's been 55 years in broadcasting, but the landscape of NBA broadcasting has changed quite a bit in these last couple of days, especially when you think of the playoffs in the NBA.
Yeah. Well, and Chris Webber, God love him, but I never thought he brought anything special.
Hey, he gave it the old college try.
He did, and good for him. And, Jason Witten, went into the Monday Night Football broadcast.
He lasted longer than Jason.
Yeah, well, it doesn't always work, and it's not always as easy as it looks. And I just never got any. I never, when Chris Webber was doing color on a basketball game, I never got anything special that was memorable. Whereas, in San Antonio on the Spurs broadcast, Sean Elliott is spectacular. Somebody, and I don't want him to because I don't want to lose him in San Antonio, but Sean Elliott is insightful. He's knowledgeable because he's played the game. He's hilarious. He's witty. You always get something outstanding from Sean Elliott. So anyway, just pointing that out. A couple of stats on Marv Albert. He's 79 years old, so I kind of get it. 55 years calling sporting events, 22 years with Turner Sports. He's called 25 NBA All-Star games, 13 NBA Finals. He called the 1992 Olympics, covering the iconic Dream Team. He's worked as part of the broadcast crew on 8 Super Bowls and Stanley Cup finals, as well as NFL games, horse racing, tennis, baseball, and more. Marv Albert, who also had a little bit of controversy many years ago. There was kind of a thing where he had a thing with a woman in a hotel room where things went a little sideways. It was a little romantic, but it got a little weird. And as I do recall, I think Marv bit her or something. And I think he was thinking she would enjoy that. And I think maybe she didn't enjoy that.
Army Hammer situation.
Yeah, unless a woman tells you, please bite me, I think I'm going to enjoy. Then unless you're specifically told that, pro tip, maybe you don't want to do that. I'm just saying. And I think, and I have to go look this up. I don't want to speak out of school. But I think that during that escapade, Marv was also seen in the hallway of that hotel room. How should we put this? Wearing lingerie that was not men's I guess it's not called lingerie for men, but he was wearing, I do believe Marv was seen in the hallway locked out of a door wearing a little lingerie, as I recall. This was 20 years ago.
That would still put him at what, 59?
Yeah, it's 59. So, having a midlife crisis. Hey, so why do only women get to go to Victoria's Secret? Why can't I try that on? Yeah. To each his own. Whatever
but
you're
not
into.
In public.
No,
there are hotel cameras.
Well, I don't think he expected. I think he got locked out of a hotel. I think he was in the hallway and didn't. I think after he bit her, things she was a little angry. I think, if I remember that. Yeah. So people don't bite unless you're specifically asked to, and even when you do, don't bite. Just kind of nibble. We're just trying to help you out here. Trying to help you out with romance tips on the Chris Duel Show. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. All right. Coming up, God help us, it will be Shannon's Salty Shakedown, this day in sports history, sports birthdays, and more. Coming up just after 8 o'clock. we'll see what Tanner Carlson has to say for himself with his disparaging tweets about Tim Tebow, his being a
pray for him.
I know. I might just tweet Tim Tebow specifically and ask Tim to pray for Tanner. So maybe we'll redeem him, and we'll see if Tanner now is just all in on the Spurs now that he was part of the Spurs broadcast team with Bill Schoening the other night.
I hope not.
We'll see how he feels about that. So lots coming up. We are with you until 9. Don't forget at 8:20, your chance to win tickets to see Korn and Stained at Circuit of the Americas. We'll have information for you there. And we haven't even told you the poll question. It's been 90 minutes. We'll do that in the next segment as well. We got a poll question for you this morning. You can go find it at Ticket 760 at AM 1300 The Zone on Twitter. She is Shannon Salty Sweeney. Dave Ayler is your soundscape stylist. I'm Chris. It's the Chris Duel Show. I got to go find that Marv Albert story now that I cited it from memory. Marv Albert biting. Yep. A 42-year-old woman named Vanessa Perhatch accused Albert of throwing her onto a bed, biting her, and then forcing her to perform a little act. That ain't good. Now, I do remember some ladies' lingerie being involved. It was 1997. In the Pentagon City hotel room, DNA testing linked Albert to genetic material taken from the bite marks. During the trial, testimony was presented from another woman, Patricia Madsen, who told the jury Albert had bitten her on 2 different occasions in 93 and 94 in Miami and Dallas hotels, respectively, which she viewed as unwanted sexual advances. It's an interesting way to make a sexual advance, Marv. Albert called her to his hotel room to help him send a fax, only she found him wearing white panties and a garter belt. I knew there was lingerie involved. White panties and a garter belt. This is Wikipedia, so it must be true. Albert maintained that Perhatch had requested that he bite her and denied the allegation that he had asked her to bring another man into their sexual affair. He described the recorded conversation of hers with the police on the night of the incident as an Academy Award performance. After the tests proved that the bite marks were his, he pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault and battery charges. Yikes. And no harm, no foul. Went on with that career. Marv Albert. The generosity of women never ceases to amaze me. Robert Castro says Marv Albert will find something to sink his teeth into when he retires. Funny. Well played, Robert Castro. All right. Good morning, Beth Settle. Welcome in. Here we come. Little Van Morrison. Very nice. Little Van Morrison for you. Submitted for your approval by soundscape stylist Super Dave Ayler. Welcome back. It is the Chris Duel Show, along with Shannon Salty Sweeney. Coming up just after 8 o'clock, Tanner Carlson. Talk a little NFL football, talk a little NBA play-in action, talk a little Tim Tebow and more with Tanner. Don't forget at 8:20, your chance to win those tickets to see the bands Korn and Stained at Circuit of the Americas. Lots going on in the world of sports. We didn't even get to the Bob Baffert story yet, but we will. Lots more coming up in just a moment. Shannon's Salty Shakedown. We got some sports birthdays, including a legendary Texas Longhorn having a birthday today. But first, how about this day in sports history. On this day in 1929, May 18th, 1929, a doubleheader between the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies. In the first game, the Dodgers beat the Phillies 20-16. In the second game, the Phillies beat the Dodgers 8-6. You add it all up, that was a Major League Baseball record. 50 runs scored in that doubleheader in 1929. On this day, May 18th, 2001, 101-year-old Harold Stilson becomes the oldest golfer to record a hole-in-one when he aces the 108-yard par 3 16th hole at the Deerfield Country Club in Florida. 101-year-old Harold Stilson. How cool is that? And finally, this day in 2004, Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Randy Johnson becomes the 16th pitcher to throw a perfect game in a 2-0 victory over the Atlanta Braves. That's this day in sports history. How about some sports birthdays? Born on this day in 1924, American sportscaster, ABC, CBS, Jack Whitaker. I'll never forget Jack Whitaker was on the broadcast team for Super Bowl VI when the Cowboys won their first ever Super Bowl, Super Bowl VI. I remember him standing on the field at Tulane Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana at the very end of the game, talking about the Cowboys' 24-3 victory over the Miami Dolphins. Jack Whitaker, born on this day in 1924 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but we'll forgive him for being an Eagles fan probably. He died in 2019. Born on this day in 1937, American Baseball Hall of Fame third baseman, 18-time All-Star, World Series champion in 1966 and 1970. Born in Little Rock, Arkansas, Brooks Robinson of the Baltimore Orioles. Brooks Robinson, 84 years old. And if you really want to feel old, born on this day in 1946, he is now 75 years old. Baseball Hall of Famer, right fielder, 14-time All-Star, Mr. October, but he was born in May. Reggie Jackson is 75 years old today. He was born in Wyncote, Pennsylvania. I did not know this. And our final birthday, Shannon Salty Sweeney, just for you. He could not only throw a football, but he can make some mean steaks. Born on this day in 1983, VY Vince Young. Happy birthday, Vince Young. He's 37 years old, and he broke my heart in the Rose Bowl. I will never forgive you, Vince Young. A pox on you and your house. Vince Young is 37 years old today. You know, Shannon, the Houston Texans, who should have drafted him anyway back in the day.
Yep.
Vince is 37. I think he's got some football in him. Texans looking for a quarterback. They can right an old wrong, bring Vince Young back, be the Texans quarterback, sell some tickets, sell some jerseys.
He hasn't been working out, though.
He's got
his body says I'm ready to be that mobile quarterback.
He's got 3.5 months to get in shape till football
Still has
season.
me blocked on Twitter, so I don't know what's going on.
Why did he block you?
Because I was being a reporter and reported on a story. I didn't say anything negative. I just reported facts.
You should.
A storage locker that went unpaid that had his memorabilia in it was up for auction. And I said in a tweet, I think the university should get that stuff. And apparently he did not like that and blocked me.
We got to get some intermediary, somebody to get to Vince and say, it's Shannon Salty Sweeney, Vince. You need to let this go.
I will still go to the steakhouse that bears his name. He doesn't make the steaks. He just
but see that's where I think that
name and probably gets free food from it. But they have the best burger in town.
That's where the two of you should meet, though, to have a kumbaya, a summit meeting. That
doesn't sound like it'd be fair and fair ground. That sounds like he'd have home field.
Okay, so how about this? I got it. You meet him at High Five and you bury the hatchet. Only it'll be an axe. instead of burying the. You can do some axe throwing with Vince Young.
Again, there's a lot of former football players from the university who are part of that high five ownership.
So would that be a bad thing with Vince Young? Isn't he beloved?
Yes, by some. I think a little ready for another championship, though.
Anyway, happy birthday, Vince Young.
Yes, happy
37
birthday,
years old, born on this day in 1983. And thank you for that national championship and breaking my heart forever with that touchdown run against my beloved USC Trojans. Not that I can't let it go. All right, here it is. You've been waiting for it. You know you want it, so it's here. Your daily salty shakedown.
All right, it's summertime, which means most good cable shows are going off the air and game shows galore are returning. It also means upfronts. And for those that aren't familiar, upfronts are where the networks pitch their show ideas that could be coming next year, shows that have pilots that are shot. Some may arrive on your TV screens. Others may be axed right then and there based on how advertisers feel about their pitches at the upfronts. Well, one show that Fox pitched yesterday, we didn't get much detail. Other than that, it would be an unscripted show involving Tom Brady.
Whoa!
This could mean a number of things. It could mean a reality show of some sort in which we get almost like a Tom versus Time, like he did on Facebook. Or we could get a game show like J.J. Watt, LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Gronk have all done before him. We don't know to what extent Tom Brady will be involved, other than that his production company will probably have a heavy hand. It'll be interesting to see how investors take to that. As I said, all they said was, we've got an unscripted show with Tom Brady in the works. Nothing else. Would you watch a game show produced by Tom Brady, or would you need Tom Brady to be a part of it?
I would like him to be a part of it. I did watch and enjoy the Tom versus Time series that you cite from Facebook.
Yeah, reality show sounds good to me.
Yeah, he's a fascinating guy, and he's funnier all the time. And yeah, I'm in. I put him in it though. I'm in. I'll watch.
Have you seen LeBron's The Wall or Steph Curry's? He's got like a golf one. Last summer, there was the Watt brothers who ultimate tag.
I have not seen. Now I saw the LeBron thing where they're like, in a barber shop talking, but I haven't.
His HBO series.
Yeah, but I haven't seen the Wall or the Steph Curry thing you cite.
Produces it.
Okay.
Steph produces the golf thing too, but I think he has made a couple of appearances. Apparently that show, they're advertising it's going to be in 3D this year. I don't know. I guess there are 3D TVs that people own. I can't
either. You use your whatever, your virtual reality goggles maybe to watch. I guess
that makes sense, but should be interesting. We will look to see if there is any more news that comes out about this unscripted TV show with Tom Brady and Fox. All right, news that somewhat pertains to the Cowboys, and that it is about the Washington football team. They are getting a new field put in. First new field for them since 1997. They, of course, used real grass. 17 teams in the league use real grass, where 15 use artificial turf. Technically 16 teams, but only 15 stadiums, right? Because the Giants and Jets share that stadium up there in New York. But interesting because, we've obviously, as Cowboys fans, have seen plenty of games played at the Washington Stadium, a stadium that they hope this new grass will last until 2027 when their current contract with that FedEx Stadium ends. But in games that have rained, that place puddles up. It is dirty. It is slippery. It's not pretty to look at. And so the first thing they're doing here is they're taking out the current field all the way down to the heating system and putting in drainage and irrigation for this fancy Bermuda grass, same grass used by the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Titans. So it should not only look prettier, but play a little prettier, especially, if I can imagine the difference between playing on turf regularly and then going to a place like Washington where it just happens to rain that day and you are playing in puddles. What are your thoughts on them finally making this move since 1997? That seems like a really long time to go without updating your field.
And that's like 24 years. Again, Dan Snyder, owner of that Washington football team. Again, one of the crappiest owners ever. Just another indicator. I'm surprised he's doing it now. I'm surprised he's not going to stay on the cheap and try to go 35 years with this crappy field. So All I can say is about darn time, Dan Snyder. And oh, by the way, why don't you step aside, sir, and let's get a real owner for that football team.
It's interesting that prior to the 2020 season, the NFLPA was kind of making an uproar about all teams should be playing on grass. I personally like the look of grass better. I know the University of Texas used to play on grass. They've been using turf. They actually just installed new turf for this upcoming season. I just like the grass because I think when you do the spray paint of the end zones and the center field, it just looks nicer. You get the more authentic colors for your team. As far as playing, I wouldn't know. Kind of like, not my problem. But players want grass, I guess. Why not go the grass route? All right, our final story today. It's a big one. It's a doozy. We've heard this man before, Coach Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions. He said a lot of interesting things in a short time with the Lions, such as about knocking other teams' kneecaps out, and that if they knock you down, you get up and knock out that kneecap. If they knock you down, you knock out the other kneecap. And then you do it one more time, which I don't know. We're running out of kneecaps at that point, sir. But he is back in the news today after a call with Pardon My Take, in which he expressed that he is working on getting a real lion to walk around with him during practice and at games as motivation in coaching his team. Here's some audio of that.
I'll tell you what I would really love to do just in general, and I've talked to Sheila about this. I don't think we're going to be able to do it, but I would love to literally just have a pet lion. Yes. Just a legit pet lion on a chain, a big-ass chain, and he really is my pet. We just walk around the building. We go out to practice. We're in 7-on-7. We're behind the kicker when he's kicking. We're just there we are. On command, you could train him. Like if one of your groups isn't doing well, you could just take him over to their section and just have him take a dump right there in the middle of where their section is at, and then bring him on back. I mean, think about it. It'd be outstanding. We would take great care of it. It would be fed well. It would be petted. It would be manicured. I might end up losing an arm because of it, but that would be even better. You know, because it would validate what this is This is a creature now. This is an animal. This is from the wild.
They went on to ask him if it meant losing an arm to win a Super Bowl, if he would take it, and he said yes. Now, on the one hand, we do have live mascots in the college world. Obviously, Bevo for the University of Texas, and even the Tiger down there at LSU. But it's not really a thing in the NFL. And also, even when you have live mascots, they don't just tout around the complex with you at all times. You don't train them to do special tricks like he was, or I don't know how special that trick would have been when we talked about it going over and doing its business on a team that wasn't performing up to the standards during practice. But I don't know this guy. I don't know if he's being serious. I don't know if he's saying things because he knows it's something that people will grab onto, and it brings light and attention to Detroit, good or bad. It's mostly weird, I guess, at this point. I mean, he's obviously gets kind of a fresh start, not just because it's his first year, but he's got Jared Goff there now, right? It's a new era in Detroit, but this is just so outrageous.
He reminds me of, and this goes way back, I think it's before your time, Jerry Glanville, who at one time coached the Houston Oilers, but most notably coached the Atlanta Falcons. Jerry Glanville would like dress in black and wear a black cowboy hat, and he later became a TV color analyst. And I think most recently, I think Jerry Glanville was even involved in the XFL just a year or two ago. So he's still out there. But Jerry Glanville, who I enjoyed and would always give you great sound bites like Dan Campbell is beginning to give us, was just kind of off the wall. And I think, you know, when he just said he goes, well, maybe the lion could bite my arm off. And he goes, and that would even be better. I think he's just being tongue-in-cheek and just being an entertainer. And so many coaches, and this is what drove me crazy about Jason Garrett when he was the head coach of the Cowboys, just giving you the same old coach speak again and again and again like a robot. Give me some personality. Give me some spunk. Give me some entertainment value. I am beginning to dig Dan Campbell, and I'm going to start tuning in for his post-game press conferences this season.
Yeah, I think win or lose for the Lions this year, they will be things to tune into. And I don't I guess again because they brand new head coach, they would not be in the running for Hard Knocks this year. But yet now here we are, another team that I would not mind seeing. Right, we always get Jared Goff would be like, oh my god, again a third time. People will never forget that I said the sun, rises in the west and sets in the east. That will live with me forever. Now I'm in Detroit and I have cameras again. But with something like this, especially if they really did get a lion, you'd have to. Maybe bend the rules a little bit there. But you don't see Urban Meyer in Jacksonville asking for a Jaguar to be on a leash.
True.
Not
True,
yet
true.
anyway. Maybe
No.
this will spark some ideas. What would the Cowboys do if they were like, okay, you need a live mascot?
Gosh,
Where
I
would
wish
you
they'd
go
get
for
rid of
that?
I hate that Rowdy mascot. Don't you just hate Rowdy? I just
He's not. Yeah, there are better ones.
A cowboy should be fierce and rugged, like the Marlboro Man or something. I hate Rowdy.
He's the Jason Garrett is what he is.
Yeah.
He's just too preppy all the time.
Yeah, I hate Rowdy. However, don't forget Dan Campbell, a one-time Dallas Cowboys tight end. He's got some Dallas Cowboys roots, so that's kind of cool. And again, a very entertaining guy so far.
Therein concludes today's salty shakedown with
outstanding,
legendary Dan Campbell.
An outstanding salty shakedown. Keep an eye on Dan Campbell. Poor guy. I mean, if history holds, and it probably will, Detroit is just such a hapless franchise. He will probably not be long for this world, just like his predecessor, Matt Patricia, with the pencil in his ear, coming from New England as the defensive coordinator under Bill Parcells, was supposed to be the next big thing and turn the Detroit Lions around. It did not happen. We'll see if Dan Campbell can do that. We didn't get into, maybe we'll get into this a little bit later. Bob Baffert suspended from Churchill Downs for the third leg of the Triple Crown. We'll probably talk a little bit about this briefly in the 8 o'clock hour. Won't spend a lot of time on it, but by all accounts, Bob Baffert, the trainer, is a serial offender when it comes to juicing up horses for these races. I think it's about but they only say for this race, for Churchill Downs, he's not banned from the sport. You're just banned from this final leg of the Triple Crown.
Medina raced in the Preakness just last weekend.
Yeah.
It was leading for like 3/4 of the race until the very end, when it almost looked unreal the way it fell, I think, into third place.
Yeah. Horse racing.
Think what you will on that.
Yeah, boxing used to have a reputation for being kind of corrupt back in the Don King era. Maybe it's time that we re-examine horse. Maybe horse racing always was, with people like Bob Baffert doing whatever they do to juice the horses, and we just didn't know it. But we'll keep an eye on that. Coming up, Tanner Carlson, our resident Dallas Cowboy freak, and we think he's a Mavericks fan still. We'll find out if that holds. And he's been critical of Tim Tebow. We'll see what he has to say for himself coming up. And your chance to win Stained tickets at 8:20. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for hanging. It's the Chris Duel Show. Yeah, Louisa, I think Rowdy's just a stupid mascot. The Spurs Coyote is funny. Rowdy is not. Rowdy is just lame. And John Williams, I agree with you. Cowboy Ray was outstanding. When Cowboy Ray would go after it with, I forget the guy's name with the Washington football team. Those guys were hilarious. Got to get my tripod set up. Mr. Tanner Carlson, resident Tim Tebow hater. Gonna go grab some more ice for my iced tea. I'll be right back. Ice, ice, baby. Yeah, I look at that Rowdy, Luis, I'm just reading what you wrote about Rowdy, the Cowboys mascot. I think back to the Tom Landry, Tex Schramm era, where you created iconic things like the Cowboy cheerleaders and their look, but Rowdy is just ridiculous. I have ice for my tea now. I'm better. John Williams wants to ask a poll question. Orange juice, A, pulp, B, some pulp, C, no pulp. I would go with B, some pulp. Give me a little something, something. But that's just me. I'm trying to go find Tanner's anti-Tebow tweet. He tweets a lot. It was over the weekend. There he is.
I'm here.
Tanner Carlson.
I'm here. Have no fear.
Oh, I see you tweeted out that was such a cool little video between Kobe and Tim Duncan. I'm looking at your Twitter feed right now.
My Twitter feed?
Yeah. So I want to give you crap for your hatred of Tim Tebow.
I don't hate Tim Tebow.
No, you said something like he's only looking
He's
for
only-
attention.
He's an attention seeker. He's a child.
How do you know that? You don't know. It's hard for him to let it go. He's been doing this his whole life,
No,
playing
he
team
hasn't.
sports.
He hasn't done anything in 8 years.
He's played baseball.
Oh, you call that playing?
He's tried.
He has attempted.
He tried.
He's such a tryhard, and he's not even good at doing play-by-play. He's not good at being on College Game Day.
You just don't like him. You're like Michael Bartlett when it comes to LeBron. You can't say anything nice about him.
I'm that way about LeBron too, but he's just he irks me. And I've been this way forever. It wasn't even like I had the Tebow mate. I didn't have Tebow fever. I
Yeah.
didn't like him at Florida. I
Yeah.
didn't like the Urban Meyer Florida team. There was nothing about that team I liked. So I've been this way towards Tebow for as long as I can remember.
Wow. I can't find your Tebow tweet, but I kind of remember
It was probably go to the replies because it's probably replied to you.
okay.
You might be able to find it.
Yeah, or the gist was, you said he's kind of an
He's
attention,
an attention
seeker. So we'll jump into that.
Monkey Man. I'm just rolling with Monkey Man from now on.
Very nice.
Just gonna go with it. Might change the Twitter handle. Then people will actually recognize me on there.
Yeah, it'll be your hook.
We got Shannon today.
We do. She should be back in a sec.
Okay. But I might go on a rant on the NBA. So
Good. We can use a rant.
I've got plenty of them. Just a cranky old man these days.
Ah. There you are. Here we come. So anything else on your mind? NBA rant?
Oh, I've got a billion. things on my
Tebow.
mind. Do having to work on my days off. Do anything.
All right.
Conversations, bathrooms. No one should ever talk in a bathroom. At any
Exactly.
situ- any-
Yeah.
ever. No reason to conversate in the bathroom.
No. Take care of your business and get the hell out of there. There we go. Oh, I need your bubble up. We move into the 8:00 hour on a Monday, May 18th. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's a Tuesday. I said Monday. It's Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. What am I thinking? Taco Tuesday, May 18th. Chris Duel Show, along with Shannon Salty Sweeney. your chance to win tickets in about 13-ish minutes. 8:20, Korn and Stained are coming to the Circuit of the Americas, and your chance to win tickets will be here. Shannon Salty Sweeney on board wearing her Austin FC Yeti green. Dave Ayler actually wearing green as well. I'm wearing Spurs and my Spurs hat. And in studio, perhaps now a turncoat, former Dallas Mavericks fan, and now Spurs broadcaster, along with Bill Schoening, did the Spurs game the other night when the Spurs took on the New York Knicks, the one, the only Tanner Carlson. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Doing great. That was a great experience. And I it was halftime and I was like, I can't wait to do this again. Like not even halftime. I think we were in the first quarter and I was telling Bartlett in studio, I was like, dude, I just want to do this again already. Like I'm so excited. I can't wait to get back in there and give it another shot. You know, being your first time in there, it's weird. I've been in front of a mic forever and I have no issue talking in front of a mic, but whenever you turn it on for that first time and you're doing a Spurs broadcast, you're like, I've forgotten everything I've ever learned at this point in my career. So I'm already ready to do it again though. It was a great experience. Awesome time.
Well, and Bill Schoening said you did a great job, and that pregame show. And I talked to you, there's so many moving parts. It's insane. But thank you for doing that. That enabled me to head up to Austin and be in place for my balloon sinuplasty procedure the next morning.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It was pain free, so that's all I need. Pain free, and I breathe better now. So it's a good thing. All right, first thing we got to dive into. I brought this up and I mentioned your name earlier in the show just because I'm people who don't like Tim Tebow. I know he rubs some people the wrong way. I kind of get it. The whole Tebowing. Some people think that he wears his religion and his faith on his sleeve a bit too much. I don't have a problem with it. Right. I think he's a good guy. I think he does good things for kids and for charity. I saw you tweet over the weekend, Tim Tebow, and I'm paraphrasing, but Tim Tebow is just an attention seeker.
Right.
He's doing this for attention because he loves the spotlight.
Right.
What makes you say such disparaging things about an American hero, Tim Tebow?
You know, and I'm with you when it comes to him wearing his religion on his sleeve. He can do whatever that's his prerogative, his right. By all means, you know, you can wear it and flaunt it, preach it as much as you want to. I really don't have any issue with that. I really don't. My thing is just, I don't feel like he's ever been that good.
He won a Heisman Trophy.
I know. And he was like the winningest quarterback in Florida, whatever, all these records. I get it. I just, when I watched him play, I never thought it was him. And I get the heart thing, the drive, the press game or post-game press conference, him crying and he's got red paint all over him saying, we're never going to lose again. And they don't lose again and they win a national championship. I get it. It's annoying. It is all of it. From
people hate winners.
People hate winners. People hate Tom Brady for the same reasons.
Yeah, and they hate LeBron. But LeBron's a diva, so I get it on LeBron.
Here's my thing now is that Tebow is no longer a winner. He has tried it. He has been in situation after situation after situation after situation after situation and given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and he has yet to. People keep saying,
shouldn't you like him now? Then, if he's no longer a winner, he's an underdog.
Winners.
Yeah, people keep saying, well, if Tebow was given an opportunity, he played for 4 NFL teams. How many opportunities does the guy get? And now he's got another one. Yeah, and so I just don't get the whole. Well, if you would have given him a chance, he had a chance. He played in the playoffs
and won. He beat the Steelers
and won. He beat Ben Roethlisberger, a prime Ben Roethlisberger. He had opportunities. He's just not good. Face it, people. As much as I love Vince Young, I'm not saying he should go back to the NFL.
It's Vince's birthday today, by the way. Hey. 37 today. I say the Texans should. 37. He can still play.
Yeah.
The Texans are looking for a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's his hometown.
Why not?
Yeah. No, see, I said this earlier to Shannon. I think
50 pounds overweight.
Because your buddy Des Bryant tweeting against Tebow as well, like you. My feeling is Tebow has earned positive karma. Why is he getting another chance? Because he's a good guy and he has earned He's earned the positive karma, and I hope it all works out.
I'm sure there are plenty of good guys in the NFL that didn't get a 10th opportunity. I'm sure there are great.
And they weren't Tim Tebow. They don't have a Heisman, and they're not the Lord's favorite tight end.
One of his opportunities was squandered when they brought in Peyton Manning. If you can bring in Peyton Manning, you're going to bring in Peyton Manning and bench whoever is currently running your team. His time was over in Denver at that
Peyton
point.
Manning's career ended with him getting benched by Brock Osweiler in the regular season at Denver.
That was a Bronco problem because, as we know, they are notoriously bad at drafting.
But Peyton got him a ring.
I mean, he finished that season strong with the Super Bowl, but that was all defense. But he had opportunities. He had plenty of opportunities. He got picked up by the Jets. If you can't start at quarterback for the Jets, you got problems. You got serious problems. If you can't do it at the Jets, regardless of the coaching there, you're not a talented enough player to make it in the NFL. And then you go to the Eagles, which the Eagles at the time had no quarterback at that time. And then also, obviously the Patriots did the whole tight end thing. They tried it and it didn't work out there either.
We shall see how that plays out. All right.
Sorry.
We want to hear your.
Yeah. He rubs me the wrong way. He comes off as I need to have my name somehow, some way related into the national media, whether it's College Game Day, whether it's announcing, broadcasting, doing color commentary for bowl games, which he's terrible at, by the way. Also another thing he's not very good at. Whatever it is, minor league baseball hitting below 250. What? The guy's stats in minor league baseball, he shouldn't have lasted the 8 years he was there.
He gave it a shot, though. It didn't work out, but he gave it a shot.
Just trying to sell tickets.
He's not putting himself in the media this time, though.
He is a marketing ploy.
We're talking about him, but he has yet to say anything in regards to Jacksonville or Urban Meyer or even playing at tight end. It's us carrying on that conversation. I was telling Chris, he has been, in the past week, he's been doing talks about trying to end human trafficking. He hasn't said anything about the NFL.
He's trying to help the world become a better place.
Yeah, so
Tanner,
is Kyrie Irving.
And you're just attacking him on Twitter.
So is Kyrie Irving, and yet nobody likes it whenever he does it.
Well, Kyrie said the earth is flat, so he lost me. That's where he lost me.
You're right.
That's where he lost. All right. We will move on. This is a big night, and I know now that you're a Spurs fan, and now that you're a bigger NBA fan, it is play-in night tonight in the Eastern Conference, tomorrow night, the Western Conference. You are now, and I know now that the NFL draft is over, now that the NBA postseason arrives tonight, I know I can tell you're all in on the NBA.
I am all in on the NBA playoffs. I'm not all in on the NBA play-in tournament. I think it's the dumbest thing that they could have possibly done.
You and LeBron.
Yeah, I'm on LeBron. This is the first time in my entire career I've said, you know what, LeBron is correct. And now that he's playing in it, he thinks it's the wrong thing to do. But I think that the competitiveness in the NBA has gone way downhill. And it's been going downhill for a while now. And now you're only making it easier to get into the playoffs. You're giving teams more opportunities to get into the playoffs and be less competitive throughout the regular season. And so I think the overall product of the NBA has dramatically decreased only because of players aren't competitive anymore. They only have beef on social media, but when they're on the court with each other, they're buddy hugging. Oh, what a great game. And then after that game that we're all looking forward to, when they just had beef on Twitter afterwards, they're like, oh, what a great game. He's a really good guy.
I do miss when the Chicago Bulls used to play the Detroit Pistons back in the Jordan era. They hated each other.
Yeah.
They wanted to kill each other. I kind of miss that.
Yeah. I just don't get the lack of competitiveness. You're making it easier for professional athletes to succeed. And it should be a challenge because we as fans want to see these players that have the highest skill and the highest talent level be pushed to their absolute limit and them turn it on when it matters the most and see them at their absolute best, playing the best against people who are trying to stop them at everything that they're doing. And yet they continue to score and they continue to be successful. That's what we want to see on a more regular basis. That's sure. You can market your NBA league, you can market your league on social media, have players involved on Twitter more often and talked about in the media more often. Sure. But if the product on the court or on television that I'm watching is lesser than what it has been, I'm not going to be. It's going to be harder for me to be totally invested into that instead of all the off the court drama. There's more off the court drama in the NBA than there is on the court drama. I want more on the court drama.
Now that's coming from a longtime Dallas Mavericks fan. So, I mean, you've been an NBA fan, and I will admit the game has changed. It's now a 3-point shooting game.
Right.
There's not a lot of defense in the game, certainly not as much as there used to be. If they're kind of losing you as an NBA fan a little bit at this juncture, do you think the NBA has a problem it needs to address here?
I think that they just need to not make it easier for these guys to compete. They're making the regular season less and less meaningful. Now, But
the flip side of that is the Lakers could get booted.
And that would be fantastic.
They're the number 7 seed, and they may not get to play if they lose 2 games in a row. And, oh, by the way, you got to face a red-hot Steph Curry tomorrow night, and he may punk you, and then you've got one more shot, and if you don't do it, you're done. The flip side of what you're saying is your 7 and 8 seeds could be 2 and done pretty quickly.
Right, but they had the entire regular, the 9 and 10 seeds, 11, 12, 13 seeds, they all had 72 games to be in the playoffs. Take the 72 games seriously enough and play hard enough and win those games to not be put in a situation where you're in a play-in or you're scratching for your playoff lives in a play-in tournament. How about you're just good enough to be a 7 and 8 seed and make the playoffs? There's already more than half the teams in the league already make the playoffs. There's 16 teams out of the 30 teams in the league that make the playoffs. So now you're adding 4 more teams that have a chance to make it after the regular season's already done.
Which to me, and again, I guess I'm in the minority here. I kind of like it. Tonight I get 2 games that are much more meaningful than any of the previous 72. It's on TNT tonight, so I get Kenny the Jet Smith and Ernie Johnson and Shaquille O'Neal and Charles. Yeah. So to me, they're more meaningful games, and for teams that didn't get in, like the Pelicans at 11 or the Sacramento Kings at 12, the excitement of the final week of the regular season hung out a little longer. It was a little more, as opposed to those teams playing meaningless games late in the season. So I just see it differently than you do.
Right. And that's fine. And that's how some people are going to see it, is that these games are going to be so much more invested in. The ratings are going to go way up in terms of just these upcoming games and the play-in, and then going into the playoffs, people are going to be much more tuned in. But I just think, look, if you've got 72, right, typically 82 games to get the job done in those months leading up to the playoffs instead of waiting till the last week. It's like a kid in college. You're waiting until finals comes around. You've got all semester long to do your finals project, but instead you're going to wait till 2 nights before the final project is done, and you're going to try to rush in, and then you get a sloppy performance. You're going to get a C and be like, hey, I got a C. C's get degrees. Why not?
I think this is the case of less is more. And when you think about it, these teams that are battling it out in these one and done play-in games, they're middle of the road average teams from the regular NBA season. What's exciting about that? I want to see the low seed go against the high seed and get an upset. I don't care about 7 and 8, 6 and whatever the numbers. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm ready for the playoffs. Get me there.
But as you say that, Shannon, one of those teams that could get punked and kicked out are the defending NBA champion Lakers. So that's one little anomaly.
But that's a bad thing for the NBA. For the NBA and their ratings, that would backfire on the NBA in terms of what they want to happen.
Yes, and we may see it backfire. It's going to be fascinating. Quick little break here. We're going to give away the tickets. Shannon, you know how this works. We've got tickets to see Korn and Stained. How do the people get the tickets?
Yeah, so this is a call-in contest. You can hit up the number 1-800-707-9760 for your chance to see Korn and Stained at Germania Insurance Amphitheater, September 18th. That's a Saturday show. A great day to get out to what is known as one of the best places to see a concert in Austin. Everyone who's gone to that theater loves it. So that's 1-800-707-9760. And since they were so popular yesterday, we're going to go caller number 7 today. So caller number 7, 1-800-707-9760 for your chance to go see Korn at Germania Insurance Amphitheater, September 18th.
Beautiful. And we're doing that all week. So if you don't win the tickets today, you got 3 more shots, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So are you going to watch it all, or you're just so sickened by the play-in games, you're just going to wait until the real 7-game series begin?
I will likely watch 2 of the games. I will likely watch the Lakers-Warriors game, and I will likely watch I think the Wizards and Celtics game is actually somewhat fascinating. I think that's a fairly intriguing matchup. The other games you're
a Spurs broadcaster now, and you're not going to watch the Spurs game?
Keep up with the Spurs game.
I'm telling Bill Schoening. I'm telling Bill Schoening.
I'm going to just be honest. I doubt I'll watch it.
Wow. Did you watch any?
If they win, then I will watch the second game to see if they beat the Lakers or the Warriors. I will.
That'll be fun.
I will watch that game.
Yeah. And if the Lakers lose to the Warriors, you're certainly going to be tuning in on Friday night.
Anti-LeBroning.
Wow.
Yeah. You've never seen a bigger Spurs fan until they play LeBron. When they play the Heat in the finals, I was face paint, black and silver. I was wearing a Ginobili Parker Duncan all-in-one jersey. I was all Spurs.
Okay, I see a trend here. You hate Tim Tebow. You don't like Tom Brady.
Right.
You don't like LeBron.
No.
There's something about greatness that you don't like. Tim Tebow, Heisman Trophy winner, the Lord's quarterback, now the Lord's tight end.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, the GOAT. LeBron James, maybe not the GOAT. Michael Jordan's the GOAT, but certainly on a Mount Rushmore. If you could use one hand to count 5 basketball players, I think LeBron's on that list.
I can respect greatness, but I can never root for it because it's too easy. It's too easy to say, "Oh, Brady's gonna win it again." Well, duh. How about?
Well, now he's 43 now, so it's not duh anymore. Now it's something special.
It'll be done.
He's 43.
It'll be done until he's out of the league. But with LeBron, same thing. It's like I don't care about their age anymore. Look, when LeBron gets into the playoffs, it's a different mode. I will never say that they're not good players. I'm never going to say they're not great at what they do on the field. It's most of the off the field stuff. It's all that crap that annoys me about Tebow and LeBron and. Yeah, Brady's actually pretty good on social media. I have to give it to him. But other than that, it's just annoying. It's just all I hear about. And a lot of it isn't their fault. You've said it before, and Shannon brought up the point earlier. It's not their fault that the media talks about them as much as the media talks about them. They're just being who they are. They're just there. And the media grasp onto, LeBron ate a turkey sandwich with no mayo today. What's up with that? Is he getting traded? Yeah. I mean, What's up with that? What's his new diet? That's going to change his. And then they make a whole segment about it on whatever. So, yeah, I get that part of it. It is annoying, but I don't know. It's too easy. I like a little bit of an underdog with a chance to win it. That's typically the team that I go for.
Now, you and Shannon, your team in the NBA is the Dallas Mavericks. Couple of good players, obviously. Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis. And they take on the Clippers. Yeah. I'm pulling for the Mavericks because I can't stand Kawhi Leonard. How do you think? And didn't they go 6 last year?
Yeah, it went 6.
So how's it gonna go this year?
I think I'm going out there. I'm saying the Mavs win this one in 6. I think it's roles reverse.
I would love it.
Yeah, and so another thing. I'm sorry, I got to go back overall, and I'm glad you brought up this Clippers Mavericks because there were 3 or 4 teams that were tanking to play the team they wanted to play.
Yep.
What about just win and play the series you play in?
Yeah.
How about just competing and winning no matter who you're facing against and say, I'm the better team. I don't care if I'm playing the Lakers in the first round. I don't care if I'm playing Kawhi. I'm going to win and I'm going to beat you because my team, I believe that our team is better than your team, regardless of the seeding.
The Clippers famously lost consecutively at the end of the year to the Rockets and the Thunder.
Yeah.
Combined, those teams lost like 50 games.
And aren't they the big favorite to beat the Lakers and to be the upset team and to be the one that aren't they the Kings of LA or what? Didn't they come out with that whole thing that they're the top team in LA, but yet they're tanking so they don't play the Lakers?
It's pretty amazing.
I don't get it. That is what bothers me the most about the NBA. These teams that, I'm going to try to manipulate the playoffs into our favor. Why? Just win.
Yeah.
Just be the best team.
Well, and that would be karma. If they lost those games to avoid the Lakers.
And then they lose to the Mavs.
So now you have the Mavs.
Right.
If they can lose to the Mavericks, that would be beautiful.
Like playing Luka's some easy task? Like, you still have to go through. You're going to have to go through good teams. You're in the playoffs. If you want a championship, you're going to have to play a good team eventually.
Will the Mavericks unleash the Boban in the playoffs? Will Boban be a factor?
He should be.
I
He
hope
should
so.
be. He's a beast. He's hard. He's hard to say. He's just, depending on the matchup, if they go small ball, he obviously can't keep up with small ball. But I mean, always Boban forever.
That's one reason to love the Mavericks. I don't love the Mavericks, but
to root for him.
I know. And again, on that, as soon as the Spurs are done, and that could be as early as Wednesday. I don't want it to be. I want them to. I'm saying it's on my graphic. Spurs in 1.
Right.
They will beat the Memphis Grizzlies. They will play on Friday night, hopefully against the Lakers. That'd be a lot of fun. It'd be. And how great would that be if so many people want to see the Lakers get ousted from this play-in tournament? What if the Spurs and Greg Popovich have the opportunity to do that? That would be fun.
Yeah. Poetic justice. Maybe the Spurs should sign Ray Allen for a game.
Can't do that. He tore our hearts out in 2013.
Can't do that just for a little bit of payback, a little bit of revenge.
He tore our hearts out. So any final parting thoughts, Tanner Carlson?
Okay. For as much as I, crap on the NBA, I enjoy the game of basketball, and I hope that we get to a point where these players, we are finally at the point in the season where competition is going to take precedence.
True.
And so it should be a good play. I think there's a lot of interesting teams. I think the Nuggets are interesting. I think the Suns are very interesting. I'm curious to see what this Wizards team does. I think if the Wizards get the 8th seed, it's not a far cry that they beat the 76ers in a 7-game series.
Wow.
I'm going out there. I'm going out there and saying if the Wizards make the 8th seed and they play the 76ers, I'm going 8-1.
Well, we will bring you back Thursday to make that prediction if they're still alive. Tanner Carlson, a great follow on Twitter.
Also, NHL playoffs are on right now. Give some hockey some love, and it's a great playoff atmosphere.
How are the Dallas Stars this year?
They are not in the playoffs this year.
Then why do we care? There's no Texas team.
Because hockey is a fun sport, and it needs a little bit more love. But
it's
Carolina,
Canadian and therefore un-American.
Hey, Carolina had a full stadium, 100% capacity.
Woo! Were they wearing masks?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. All right.
I just listened to the crowd noise. I was like, oh, real crowd. I love it.
Tanner Carlson, go follow him on Twitter at Tanner Carlson 20 for his daily attacks on Tim Tebow, Tom Brady, and LeBron James. We will get your NBA and NHL predictions later in the week.
I actually have a anti-LeBron tweet today. I've already got one out there.
I'm so shocked. It's already 8:28 and you're tweeting against LeBron.
Yeah, it was whenever he and D-Wade were mocking Dirk during the finals. So.
All right, here we go. Quick break. More coming up. He's Tanner Carlson. You're listening to the Chris Duel Show. Thank you, sir. Very funny. Cool. Very lively.
Oh, it feels good to get that off my chest. That has been on my mind.
It is
So long.
Well, and when I first heard, and I forget who it was, you just talking about the players being friendly. It was like Tony Parker hosted, the Spurs were playing some other team, and he had 2 of those guys over at his house for dinner the night before. And that was, back in the days of Rodman of the Pistons and Michael Jordan of the
Magic invite Bird over
no. It's like you can be friends in the off season, go play golf, but during the season, no.
Yeah, go shoot a commercial together. Cool, all cool.
Yeah,
but
I don't like it.
Especially going into the playoffs, it's supposed to be Mamba mentality.
I agree.
You think Kobe is over there hanging out with the Celtics,
right?
Before their series? No way.
Yeah.
I think that brings the level of competition at a higher level.
Yeah.
And that's my main point. Like, I just want to see these teams and some of the greatest athletes in the world compete at their highest level.
Yeah.
Against one another. And you don't always get that.
True. True.
All right, man. I will be around.
All right.
Thursday?
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you. Sam Tobias says Tanner Carlson, the Bill O'Reilly of Twitter. Very funny. All right. Let me see here. Let's see here. Welcome back. It is the Chris Duel Show, along with Shannon Salty Sweeney, Dave Ayler, your soundscape stylist. And Dave, you were taking the phone calls. Do we know who the winner of the Corn and Stained concert tickets is for today?
Eric Cardona.
Eric Cardona?
Yes.
Congratulations, Eric Cardona. Very cool. If you did not win tickets, if you're not Eric or yesterday's winner, we'll do this again tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday at 8:20. We also, at the other 20s, 6:20 and 7:20, do our Grand in Your Hand cash contest. Shannon, I was watching or reading on TMZ Sports, there was a Florida doctor who sadly passed away from COVID complications, but he had been a baseball card collector since the 1980s, and he's got like an incredibly rare collection of baseball cards, including ultra rare Babe Ruth items. His name was Dr. Thomas Newman. He passed away this past January at the age of 73 from complications from coronavirus. He's got Babe Ruth rookie card, Mickey Mantle rookie card, Honus Wagner, which is like the gold standard of baseball cards, Ted Williams, Cy Young. It is being estimated that his baseball card collection could fetch $20 million. Is that crazy? A $20 million baseball card collection.
That is why people are getting in brawls outside of Targets and why Target have taken the cards off the shelves, because they are somehow worth millions and millions of dollars.
But I mean, you're not going to get a Babe Ruth rookie card at Target. I mean, are they assuming that what we get at Target today is someday going to have incredible value like these cards?
They've got to. I mean, that's the whole point of collecting them, right?
Yeah.
You get them while they're cheap, and then they one. It's like comics, right? They one day turn into originals, and their condition matters, and the edition matters, and all that stuff. I mean, that's how I link the two.
Yeah.
Again, I still think that they're pieces of paper that could catch on fire and be gone in an instant, and I don't see how that's worth.
Well, so is
that much
cash.
money.
So is cash, depending on how much cash.
Well, we see where cash is going these days, right? It's all
Good point. Good point. Yeah,
up here now.
we need the cryptocurrency
Yeah.
now. What is your? I think I've asked you this before, but I forgot what the answer was. Sports memorabilia. What do you have in? What is your prized piece of sports memorabilia? Do you have something that stands out to you in your collection?
I don't really have much of a collection, and for the stuff I do have, I don't know where it is. I have a soccer ball from my youth. I thought I was going to meet Mia Hamm. It was a different U.S. Women's National Team player. Number 15 at the time signed a ball that I have somewhere in my parents' pool house, and then I have a really tiny signature Texas football with Major Applewhite and players of that nature.
I thought you were going to say Vince Young on his birthday.
No, that I met when I was 5 in a private meet and greet situation when they came to my school.
Very cool. I have an unopened Pepsi bottle that I purchased at an HEB in 1972, the spring of 1972. It commemorates the Cowboys' first ever Super Bowl win.
Wow.
Over the Miami Dolphins. It's never been opened.
That's cool, because that's like a different thing.
It's crazy. Yeah. And it's
football.
It somehow made it through college with me. It made it through my 20s and 30s and 40s and somehow never got opened or broken.
Yeah.
I don't
know
how.
Where do you keep it?
It's right now on a desk behind my computer.
So it's not like near the fridge or your pantry.
No, yeah, right.
Oh my goodness. I'm curious, to look that up and see what it would go for.
Yeah, I've posted
because
photos.
Beanie Babies are coming
before.
back now, and I have loads of those. And some of the Beanie Babies, my parents and I were looking at. I was like, "Go get them down. We're selling all of these."
Yeah,
some of the ones they're going for thousands of dollars.
Oh my god!
Did you buy that when it was new?
That
soda bottle?
I did. I bought it in HEB on Callahan and Babcock. There was an HEB in San Antonio at the intersection of Callahan Road and Babcock Road. It was like my neighborhood HEB as a kid. Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't, I was 11 years old at the time, so I couldn't afford a 6-pack of them, but I could afford one bottle, which I guess was like, 35 cents back then or something.
I see the bottle that's going for $30 on eBay right
Wow,
now.
all
That
these
has
years.
But this one is an empty one.
Now this is full and unopened.
Right.
It's got the actual Pepsi
here's
in it.
one. That one's going for $27.50. So
See?
it's worth less.
Nothing like the doctor
why?
and his $20 million.
It's because it's Pepsi.
I know.
Go ahead and
Damn it.
drink it then if it's only worth $25.
No, don't even do
Yeah,
that.
can you-
It's
that
Pepsi.
would be. Can you imagine? It's been bottled since 1972. What that Pepsi? I mean, that would probably just acid go right through your guts and kill you. The only other thing that I have is real cool. My father-in-law got me a Tom Landry autographed football where he wrote "To Chris Duel, best wishes, Tom Landry." So that's my other.
That's kind of cool.
My other
That's
thing.
worth some money because Landry won't be signing any
Oh,
autographs.
he'll never
anytime soon.
sell that.
Well, no, and that's the difference. It's like when I have memorabilia, it's like I don't really, even if you told me that ridiculous bottle was worth more than $27, I still, because it means something to me. It's like I wouldn't sell it because it's like my memorabilia. So Dave Ayler, you're a longtime sports fan, a St. Louis Cardinals fan. Any sports memorabilia in your closet or storage locker somewhere?
I have a house full of memorabilia, sports, music, all kinds of stuff.
A house full.
Yes, I've got jerseys hanging on the living room wall.
What's your prized jersey? There's a fire. You can only grab one jersey and run out with one jersey.
One?
Yeah, yep. Fire is raging. You got to grab that jersey. You got to get out now.
Probably the Gibson jersey, Bob Gibson.
Ooh, Bob Gibson.
Yeah, but I've got Troy Polamalu, Jack
Ooh.
Lambert, Earl Campbell. Got a bat signed by Stan Musial.
Now, Earl Campbell, you're from St. Louis, yet you're a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. How I find Earl Campbell unusual to be in your collection.
I've always liked Earl.
Okay.
When he was an Oiler.
Yeah, but you were a Steeler fan. He was like, he was your he was your foe. He was,
and we always knocked him out of the playoffs. So I don't have any bad feelings towards him.
It's just wrong.
I'm trying to think what I've got. Baseball signed by Lou Brock and Pete Rose, Harmon Killebrew.
Very nice.
Al Robosky.
Now, speaking of collectibles, Shannon, I got this from Dave Ayler. At auction, a lock of Kurt Cobain's hair has sold for more than $14,000. I don't know how somebody has a lock of Kurt Cobain's hair, but they do. When they're in '89, when Nirvana was touring in support of their Bleach album, somebody got a lock of Kurt Cobain's hair. You are a big Justin Timberlake fan, Shannon. Would you pay money to have a lock of Justin Timberlake's hair?
No. Because other than unless like I had a DNA test on display next to it, you would never believe me. I remember like they're in sync when they were doing like radio tours back in the day when that was like a thing. How now you have social media to get your stuff out there. But they go do radio tours, and once he left half a French toast, like he threw it away, he didn't eat it, and the radio station turned around and sold it. I don't remember what they sold it for. I think they ended up matching it, and they donated all that money to charity. But I think of stuff, I'm like, what?
People are nuts.
The weird stuff like that. Why would you, especially like a piece of food?
Yeah.
That's not gonna last.
No.
Unless it's like a McDonald's cheeseburger. Apparently those last for forever.
Yes. Now, somebody pointed out, though, if you had a lock of Kurt Cobain's hair, I think it was Clint Proctor on Facebook Live said this, you could clone him. So if you had a lock of Justin Timberlake's hair, theoretically, as technology gets better, you, Shannon, could clone your very own Justin Timberlake.
I think the Timberlake family would come after me.
Well, you don't have to tell them.
Some issues there.
You could keep it quiet.
Until I use him to get a ton of money and live out my like ridiculous rich person dream life. Just yachts all day.
Could be fun.
Yachting everywhere like
Could
Jerry.
be fun. Some more information completely on a different subject, but I find this because I think they're very good. I found this newsworthy, again, from Dave Ayler and his research this morning. Red Lobster. Have you eaten at Red Lobster anytime recently?
No, because I don't like seafood. But I do
that's
like
right.
the biscuits because you can buy like the mix from
Boom.
ATV and make them yourself.
Yes, so you know this story. They are searching for a chief biscuit officer A person will get $1,000 rewards in gift cards, extra Cheddar Bay biscuits to go for delivery orders, a chance to win a weigh-in on upcoming new dishes, VIP status at Red Lobster location of your choice. You can be the chief biscuit officer for Red Lobster. The biscuits are pretty darn good, I will say.
What does that entail, though? It sounds like it's just a title if they're only giving
just-
$1,000.
Yeah, it does sound like it's just.
Swag.
It looks like it's just a title to get publicity. You have to submit your entry before June 4th to qualify for the sweepstake prize.
Wait,
So-
what do you put on your entry? What's on that resume?
I guess you
Listen, I've
write
been
an
married
essay.
5 times, so I've done a lot of cake testing. I think I know a thing or two about flour and bread. What?
Oh, yeah, that's a little
Submit your
weird.
application. I am not lactose intolerant, so therefore
No.
cheese.
There's that. And finally, the FAA airlines may start weighing people at the gate. Apparently, there's a standard average weight that an airplane's supposed to have, and airplanes they're worried that people are getting too fat, so they're going to have to maybe weigh. They may randomly pull people and weigh 15% of the daily passing. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be, especially after COVID? I'm 20 pounds heavier than I was a year ago, man.
This is interesting because there's like the bag theory, right? Where you know, bags fly free or whatever you pay, but they can't be over like 50 pounds. And if they are, then you have to pay more money. So
Yes.
like, oh, the weight's a problem unless you fork over an extra $50. Then
Yeah.
the weight's no problem at all. So now we're also weighing people. So you should really just weigh the bags and the people,
Oh,
both
God.
your carry-on, the people, and whatever they want to go in the undercarriage right when they walk in. And then they can make them almost like the security things you have now where you go in and put your hands up, right? It's almost like its own little booth.
Yes. You put your hands up and it also
You go
weighs
in,
you.
it weighs you. They print a ticket out on the other side and they say you're going to owe either this much more or you're under the limit.
Yeah,
That's
sorry,
crazy.
Chris. The average man, your height should weigh 173. You weigh 205. You're going to have to pay an extra $65 to get on this flight.
You think
Because
that'll
you're a big,
factor
fat
into it?
pig. I don't
Or they're
know.
just like, I don't, that's crazy to me.
Wow.
And if I come in underweight, I want money back.
Ooh, there you go.
See? Yeah.
I like
that
that.
should be an incentive to be healthy. But then you may be creating other problems that you shouldn't highlight.
Yeah, if you're lean and mean, and then like supermodels will get on the flight. Ooh,
Or what if you're a muscle builder, right? You're naturally more heavy because muscle weighs more.
true. Good point.
This is
We-
dangerous territory.
It is dangerous territory. We didn't even talk about the poll question today. Yeah, poll question, schmoll question. We'll tell you what it is tomorrow. Shannon Salty Sweeney, outstanding.
You as well, sir.
Enjoy your. Are you going to have a taco today?
If I come by one, I've got some errands to run, so you never know. If it keeps me out during lunch, I might have to.
I think you might come across a taco somewhere in Austin today. It's possible. Dave Ayler, great job as always.
Always fun.
Our thanks to Tebow hater Tanner Carlson. We'll try to turn him on Tim Tebow. He did explain himself, though, so that was cool. We will do this again in 21 hours. Tomorrow night will be Spurs action, but your first 2 Eastern Conference play-in games will be tonight. We'll talk about those and a lot more on tomorrow's show. Have yourself a great Taco Tuesday. Adios, everybody. Woo! Have a good Tuesday.